Hey, thought I'd do another video for you guys. It's been a couple weeks since I did one, and today the topic is trigger control. I'm going to talk about just controlling your trigger finger. It's actually pretty simple, pretty elementary, but if it's not done correctly, it can cause big problems, especially once you start stretching it out and getting, shooting 500 yards and on out. So, really simple. I always like to tell, my new customers that you want to make sure that shot, when you're shooting, surprises you when it goes off. You'll know within a second or two, but you're not finishing the shot. There's no sitting right there on the edge and just giving it a little squeeze. You're just slowly adding pressure till it goes off. And if you can do that, you're going to find your groups. If you're not doing that and you're going to start doing that, you're going to find your groups are going to shrink by just doing that. Just because there's subtle movement that can happen when you finish that shot. Just that little extra squeeze of that trigger can make that happen, can make that movement. A good little test to do is just look through your scope, no round in it, get up on your target and finish the shot. Just give it a little squeeze and watch that crosshairs move or jump. And then do it where you're just adding pressure and letting it break, and you're going to see that crosshairs is going to move a lot less, and so it'll shrink your groups a lot. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're just adding slight pressure to that trigger until it goes off, keeping that crosshairs right where you want it. As long as you're going to break a nice clean surprise shot, that bullet's going to impact where you're going to want to. I always tell my customers one of two things is going to happen. You're going to have a surprise shot, whether you punch it when you finish your shot or whether you give it just adding pressure until it breaks. Adding pressure till it breaks, you'll probably be happy where it hits and you'll be surprised when the gun goes off. If you know when the gun fires, you'll probably be surprised where it hits. So either way, you're going to be surprised. Just pick your surprise. All right, so trigger control. The other thing that we have not talked much about at all was making sure that your gun is level when you're shooting a long range. And a lot of people really, they understand that, it needs to be level, but some of my customers don't really understand or haven't really had the concept explained to them really what happens in long range when your scope is not level. So at let's say 1,000 yards, if you're 3 degrees off level, it can make your shots fall 2 feet left or right, depending which way you're off level. So to make it simple to understand is at, let's say, 1,000 yards, you have your bubble off level. Your trajectory of your bullet is going up and down. If you were to draw a line, it would just, if you were to draw that bullet path, it would just be a line up, just look like a straight line up. And at 1,000 yards, it depends what caliber you're shooting and how big of a difference it makes. But pretty common 18 to 20 feet of drop at 1,000 yards. And so to make it simple and explain it, it's the same difference as if I were to take this gun, if I had a level on here, and if I were to make this barrel perfectly level, straight up and down, and I would be able to load this gun where it just shoots 20 feet in the air. So it's simulating that 1,000-yard shot where the bullet rises 20 feet and falls 20 feet. So if we did that, and we would touch off a shot where the gun's perfectly level, that bullet would just go straight up and fall right where it came from. So the bullet would land right here. But if I took this barrel and held it 3 degrees off level, like over exaggerate here, and I shot 20 feet up, now that bullet would fall over there or over there. So that makes it really simple to understand what's happening when you're not level. That bullet's falling off to the side of where it started from. So makes it pretty simple, I think, to understand. So just make sure that when you're shooting long range that you're looking at that bubble and making sure that bubble is perfectly level, or that's probably why you're getting some left and rights, especially on those wind still days. When it's windy out, you're going to get left and rights. It's just part of the long range game. Unless you're really good at wind calls and then you're still getting left or rights, you're just holding into the wind for it. So I hope that helps your long range shooting game. And until next time, have fun shooting, shoot straight, and I'll see you here in a couple weeks again.